Let me ask you a question. Have you thought about your reputation recently? You should, because if you knew what they were saying about you, you wouldn't like it. But it's okay. I'm here to help. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Media EQ, the show where I talk about things I find interesting, and lucky for you, I'm cool enough to record it. I don't know how many of us actually think about our reputation on like a daily basis. Of course, if you're a celebrity or if you have a brand or some sort of public-facing career, you're more likely to have thoughts about what people are thinking of you. But what about the everyday user? I'm talking about you, the person with the Instagram account, the person who's watching this talk show right now, the person who's scrolling on TikTok, the person at the job who has a bunch of coworkers. What do people actually think about you? And what are you doing to contribute to those thoughts? Listen, besties, I hate to break it to you, but you're online a lot. And that means you're posting pictures, your likeness, your name, things that are tied to you for the rest of your life. I'm sure you've heard the saying, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. So how is that gonna affect you tomorrow, next week, down the line? What about when you're ready to buy a house? What about when you're ready to enroll your kids in school one day? Do you think that TikTok's gonna come back to haunt you? What about that statement you posted on Twitter or X? Are people gonna wanna be your friend? Are you gonna get invited to that party, to that event? Is that person gonna wanna marry you? Your reputation, what you've created and what we know about you, it precedes you. So what can you do about it? You guys know I'd like to come on this show to teach you something that's gonna help you navigate the life that you live out there in the real world a little bit easier. And today's episode is absolutely no different. Remember, I wanna make life out there for you more manageable, more palatable. I want you to feel like a productive member of society. And that means having what? Self-awareness. Say it with me. Self-awareness. Now your turn. Very good. We want to have self-awareness out there in the world, and we definitely want to have self-awareness here online. It's so interesting for those of you who remember life before the internet became as popular as it has. I'm definitely one of the generation that has grown up with the internet. I've always had it, but I have definitely seen the increase of online users. I remember back in the day when we had like MySpace, right? And like that was like the coolest thing ever. But MySpace, if you think about it, was like kind of mysterious. You posted things, you had your little top 8. We were really in the lab creating profiles. You guys remember that? We were like coding. Like I should have an engineering degree like right now. Coding is engineering, yeah? I feel like it's some form of it, right? I should be able to like apply for like Google and like Apple right now because of just my MySpace track record. I don't know if the same is true for you. MySpace was kind of an era where things were like there and then they were gone. Hopefully. I haven't really seen any kind of backlash from MySpace days because again, it was a mysterious time. We were all just trying to figure out social media presence. Then we all kind of collectively moved to Facebook. I feel like things became a little bit more permanent there on Facebook. Some of you guys probably still have Facebook, right? Because later generations before us have shifted there, and that's kind of how you stay in contact with grandma and your cousins and what have you. Then there was the big shift to Instagram, and we've kind of lived there for a little bit, but we've expanded. We've made some properties other places like the TikToks and the YouTube worlds, the Vine worlds, where things have been there, we've posted, we've had our fun. But what's interesting about this time, because it's so new, the digital age where we are collectively online all at the same time, and we're posting more and more vulnerable things about ourselves every day, we don't really know the backlash or the positive effects that will come from this. We have no generations to really look toward to see how this is going to affect us in the long term. We are the digital age guinea pigs. I've been thinking a lot recently about my personal journey online. Being someone that does have a lot of digital footprints that follow me, I have a lot of forward-facing things, a lot of talking head videos, as we call it in the media, out there that represent who I am. How is this going to affect me in the long run? When one day I have a billboard out there, one day when I'm sitting on a stage like Oprah Winfrey and I'm interviewing the President of the United States, who and what are y'all gonna pull out that represents who I was and how I got to where I am? I want to introduce you to this idea called rational choice theory. I love a theory. I feel even saying that you're utilizing a theory already makes you 10 times smarter, and it really does. Someone out there has already thought about the things you're thinking about, have given it a name, have given it some bullet points, and have purposely packaged it in a way that you can use in your own life. So rational choice theory. I went on ChatGPT, the AI girly, to ask them to define what rational choice theory is in the most simplest of terms, and this is what they came up with. Rational choice theory is the idea that individuals make decisions by considering the costs and benefits of different options to maximize their personal advantage. Essentially, people are seen as rational actors who weigh their choices to achieve the best possible outcomes based on their preferences and available information. What is the first thing that you think of when I read that definition? I'll tell you, for me, I immediately thought common sense. Common sense, right? The idea that I want to do things that are going to give me the best outcome from my life based on the information that I have. I know that crossing the street without looking both ways could lead me to a non-favorable outcome. I could get hit by cars. I could step into something I don't want to step into. It could all go bad. How do I have this information? Well, growing up, I was told, look both ways before crossing the street. I have myself seen firsthand account of cars wishing past when the light is green for them to go. Okay, given that information, I'm gonna weigh the pros and cons about how I can cross the street effectively. Common sense, right? Cool. But you know what they say about common sense? Not so common. I do feel, though, that sometimes common sense can get a bad rap. Given the fact that we are all complex, different people, I talk about this all the time. We're all complex. We all know different things. We've all had different experiences, different perspectives. So how can common sense truly be common? We all are in this digital age, and for the most part, we're all online. And like I mentioned, we are all in this kind of weird area where we don't really have evidence of how what we're doing now is going to affect us later. So in that regard, we do all share something in common. And as online digital age besties, I think we should help one another. So when thinking about our reputation and about how we're presenting ourselves to where people are going to then gather information about us and have a perception of who we are and where we can go in the future, the first thing that we need to keep in the forefront of our mind is this idea of weighing the pros and the cons. And I think that that can extend to more than just your online persona. The example that I mentioned earlier saw us crossing the street. I'm weighing the pros and cons about how can I do this safely. Do that same technique when you're applying for that job. You're going on the interview. Let me weigh the pros and cons of my outfit. Now I got this really, really cute skirt. It's got the sparkles on it. It's got a nice little slit in it. It makes me look great. It makes me feel confident. And confidence is key if I'm gonna slay this interview. Is that slit appropriate for you getting this job? Does that outfit that you're using to interview for this job fit the work that you're gonna do in this job? No? Maybe we don't wear that outfit. Let's weigh the pros and cons here. The pros, I'm gonna look fabulous, I'm gonna feel fabulous. The cons, I probably won't get the job. If the idea is to get the job, I think the cons then outweigh the pros, right? That's that common sense that I mentioned. Again, not so common, but we can make it more common. When you know better, you do better. So if I share information with you, you share information with your friend, they share information with their family members take it to their job. We're extending this era of common sense. So going back to rational choice theory, we need to start weighing the pros and cons. If you're gonna post something online, how is this post going to affect you long term? Pros, I'm probably gonna get a lot of likes and comments because I look really, really good. Cons, I might also get a lot of backlash. The t-shirt that I'm wearing has a slogan on it that may be perceived as harsh by some demographics, and that might not bode well for my overall social media standing. I might lose followers, I might get negative comments on my posts. Now, it's time for me to sit with the idea of those pros and cons. Do I value more the likes that I'm gonna get and the people who are gonna tell me I'm slaying the fit and the background is all aesthetic and my makeup is on point, my hair is on point, the shoes are fresh? Is that more important to me than the idea that I might now divide my audience? I might have people who now feel like they can't trust me in order to provide content that feels happy and safe and fun to interact with. Is this now going to affect me potentially in a job one day? Are there job marketers who might see this post and decide, no, not this person? Are there people who I interact with in the educational world, if I'm trying to go to school, who may now perceive me to be less educated because of what I posted? Is this going to trickle down and affect my children one day as they interact in school? Are they gonna get picked on because their mommy or their dad posted this thing where, yeah, they may have looked really super hot fire in the photo, but the photo, again, divided the audience and now people don't really wanna rock with them? Pros and cons. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm already so anxious every time I post a picture. Now you want me to overanalyze how people are gonna perceive it? What am I going to do? I know. Can we all just collectively take a deep breath? I'm a huge proponent of taking a deep breath. And did you know you're actively supposed to deep breathe way more than we do as a society? It's like good for your circulation, for your blood, for your like cell turnover. Let's all take a deep breath and I want you to do it with me. Okay, I know you're watching, but I'm watching you. Let's take a deep breath, okay? On the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it in. And let it out. It's gonna be okay, bestie. Remember, I shared with you, common sense, though it may not be as common, The more we know, the more we can share. And if I'm sharing it, it's because I've dealt with it or I'm currently dealing with it, okay? You are not alone. We all need to be considering rational choice theory when we're interacting with the world around us, whether that be digital age or interpersonal relationships in our regular life. How are we coming off and how is that perceived by others? You don't live in this world alone. What you're thinking about, chances are I'm thinking about it, they're thinking about it. We're all in this together. You don't live in this world alone. You're gonna need people to propel you and push you forward, to advocate for you, to vouch for you, to speak your names in rooms that you're not in. The more you divide yourself, the more you push away opportunities to go further. So take your deep breath, take another one if you need to, and just remember, we're all in this together. I'm not telling you to overanalyze to the point where you never post. I'm not telling you to overtly care about what other people's opinions of you are. Because remember, I mentioned in a previous episode, other people's opinions of you are none of your business. That said, let's try not to divide our audiences. Let's try to put our best foot forward. Let's just weigh our pros and cons. We want more pros than we have cons at the end of the day. I look good in this picture. Ooh, but I might have some haters. Post it. Post that pic. Let them hate. I look good in this pic, but it might lose me a lot of followers because it's controversial, it's negative, it may push people away, it may make people feel uncomfortable. Maybe don't post it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not about overtly considering how another person is going to perceive you, but more so, what does that perception do for your long-term standing? How is this affecting you? At the end of the day, it goes back to you. If you're only sitting here and weighing the pros and cons about what people are gonna think about you as just like a regular day thing, that's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you to do is consider how is their perception of you going to affect your future. Let's make the rational choice here. A rational choice isn't going to divide you to where you're never going to get an opportunity again. A rational choice is not going to put you in a situation of hurt, harm, or danger. At the end of the day, your day is going to end with you. Let the sun set on positivity in a way that you feel accomplished. Other people are either attracted to you or repelled by you based on the way that you show up. Point blank, period. I love examples here because I feel like examples help us learn. So let's think of one. Let's think of us like at the mall, okay? We love going to the mall, right? We love a good shopping day. So we're at the mall, we're walking, we're looking at stuff. Oh, that store's cute. I'm gonna go in there, right? So let's say you go into a store, a clothing store, and you are looking around and someone is going to approach you in order to help you in that clothing store. You know how they do. They come and ask you if you have any questions, if you need any help. Propose in your mind that the person who approaches you asking you if you need any help does it like this. Can I help you? Me? You can you help me? Yeah, you. Can I help you? Like, what do you need something? Like, what are you here for? Like, what, like, you're wasting my time. What do you need? Hold up. First of all, I didn't ask you to approach me at all, so I don't understand the animosity. I don't know why you're making it seem like I'm taking you from something that you need to be doing. Calm down. Let's try this again. Or you know what? Better yet, let's not try this again because that first impression told me everything I needed to know. Can you back away from me? Matter of fact, can you go get your manager? Because I feel disrespected. Whoa. Going back to rational choice theory, weighing those pros and cons. More cons or more pros in that interaction? Well, if your objective was to repel me out of the store, if your objective was to have controversy, if your objective was to have a talk later with your boss about the way your demeanor is with customers, well, I would say job well done. But if your objective was to make a sale, make a new friend, help somebody have a great day, I would say there was more cons than there were pros in that interaction. What is the outcome that you're looking to have? Weigh those pros and cons. And remember, the way you come off to others is important. I, as the customer, have the power in my hand to elevate you as the employee. I could go up to that counter and say, I had a great and lovely experience shopping in the store, and it was all because quote unquote, this person right here. Or I could go up to that counter and say, I will never be back to this store. Your employees are rude, they're nasty, and they made me sit out here for a long periodically time.
You have to sit out here and wait a long periodically time. The buses are nasty.
The choice is yours. How you come off to others is important. First impressions are important. Weighing your pros and cons are important. Rational choice. Make the rational choice for the way that you want to be perceived. Perception is key, especially on social media. How many times do you perceive someone to be a certain way and you've created this entire archetype of who they are in your head? They may be nothing like that, but it doesn't matter. You don't know them beyond the screen that you're holding in your hand. Your perception of that person is everything. Your perception is telling you, wow, this person looks really cool. I want to follow them. I really like their anecdotes. I want to follow them. Your perception of me as a talk show host is important to me. Now, at the same time, it's not possible to know what a person thinks about you at every stage of your life or every stage of the connection that you have with them, and you shouldn't worry about that. Rational choice theory, again, encourages us to make the rational choice. It also encourages us to think rationally. You will never know everything that a person thinks about you. However, when you're presenting yourself in a way where you've weighed the pros and cons and you've geared more to the pros than the cons, when you are considering how other people may be affected by your presence, you are showing up in a way that is rational and a way that bodes well for you overall. Being rational is just that. You're not overly analyzing, you're not overly critical, you're not overly stressed. You're rational. And if you show up that way and people still don't want to rock with you, maybe those people are not your people, and maybe they're just haters, right? We can't do anything about the haters. The haters gonna be there, the haters are gonna hate. And if you're showing up in a way that's going to make you attractive and lucrative to the most majority of people, you will have haters. And that's okay. Those people suck. Haters in those cases are there to show you that you have something great and something that needs to be protected. They don't consider how they show up in the digital world or how they show up in their actual personal lives. And because they are not experiencing the outcomes in which they wish to, they take their havoc out on the people who are being smart and who do have lucrative and attractive lives. Those people are only going to bring you down, hate on you from the sidelines, and secretly try to destroy you from the inside. Was that harsh? Maybe. But I'm hyperbolizing it so that you can really see the effects of how rational choice theory is going to elevate you out of the pits of people you don't need to be around. We love a theory that saves our reputation, don't we? In the same conversation of weighing pros and cons and how we show up affecting others, I'd also like to add the idea of physical appearance. Image is important. You are attracted to people based off of what you see. We don't always get to see firsthand people's personality and decide, yes, I like that person. That person feels like they would fit in my life very well. We are attracted by what our eyes see. So much so, I'll tell you another theory, this idea of the halo effect. Studies show that people are more likely to associate good traits or goodness with people who are physically attractive. And the opposite is true for those people who don't bode well in the realm of physical attractiveness. They are assigned negative qualities. So image is truly important, and you can see the effects of this when you're just out there living your normal life. Have you ever had someone come up to you and tell you they like something about what you're wearing or how you look, your hair, your shoes, something about what they can physically see? That conversation was started with you, that potential connection, that potential new job, that potential relationship, that potential new best friend was all sparked by something you had physically that person was attracted to. Attraction is key. Think about social media. When you post, you're putting your best foot forward. You're not posting that ugly selfie that like sees up your nose or something that has your hair all over the place. No, you have looked at that picture, you have analyzed that picture, and you have posted that picture with the intent of, I look good, or this looks good, this affects my brand well. We are not putting out images that are going to negatively affect us. Keep that in mind with your physical appearance off social media as well. Okay, in the office, look good. When you go for that job interview, look good. Look appropriate, but look good. When you look good, people will do the work for you. They'll spark that conversation with you. They'll invite you over to their group. They'll nominate you for something. When people are attracted to you, they want to be around you. They want to be in your space. They've associated you with good. And when they associate you with good, they can bring you to good. Right? Again, your name spoken in rooms that you're not in, you being nominated, you being tapped on for things that you may not have been tapped on if you looked a mess. And your face and your likeness, your image is enough. There's ways to spruce yourself up. I'm not telling you to go get under the knife like, oh, Mackie Speaks said I need to look good, so therefore I need to go, that's confirmation I need to go get this nose job or I need to go get that BBL. No. Just take care of yourself. People are more drawn or more likely to approach people that look like they take care of themselves. How you treat yourself is how people are going to treat you. Okay, you teach people the way to treat you. If you look like you're unkept, if you stink, if you come off in a way that looks like disheveled, like you didn't really care about yourself this morning, people are probably going to either be repelled from you entirely or they're going to treat you as less than when they do speak to you. Hold yourself a little high. Put your shoulders back. Fake it till you make it. Okay, if you're listening to this right now and you feel like, well, I don't have the confidence to do that. Like I kind of walk in spaces like that. I need you to roll it up. Nobody knows the confidence that you have or you do not have. Fake it until you make it. Okay, fake it until it's real. Eventually, if you step into something enough, it'll become you. That's another theory. I'll share it with you really quick. Self-fulfillment prophecy, which is this idea that if you hear it enough, if you experience it enough, you start to believe it. Tell yourself you're that girl. Tell yourself you're that guy. Show up in the way that you want to be treated. Show up in the way that you want to treat yourself. If you're not there yet, you know what? I want to be there. So therefore, I'm going to do it until I really feel it. Image is important. Remember that. Okay, besties, so you need a little bit more evidence on how rational choice theory can save your reputation? I got you. Think no further than to your favorite celebrities. Going back to the idea of the digital age and all of us being online social media users, we have more access than ever to see how people's choices affect their everyday lives. There's a new musician that everybody cannot stop talking about? Great. There's a new actress who's beautiful and now is in every movie that you've ever thought of. Amazing. That new NBA basketball player that went pro after everyone couldn't stop raving about their performance in college. That influencer who popped out of nowhere and just is so relatable and so likable. Yeah, those people. Where do they all go? Here today and gone tomorrow. Why? Well, more often than not, it's because something from their past has resurfaced and demolished everything that they've worked so hard to build. How does rational choice theory come into play? Had they just weighed those pros and cons about posting that tweet, had they just thought about how they were going to come off to others by posting that picture that was highly offensive to that demographic of people, had they just cleaned up their image in a way that would make them more lucrative and attractive to multiple groups of people, they might still be here today. Think what you will about how social media has made us sort of an invasive generation who's able to peek inside the lives of people we don't even know. It has definitely laid the foundation where, in essence, has prepared us for what is possibly to come. Maybe not on the grand scale of those influencers or those actors and actresses, but in a way that can prepare us for the walk that we will have in our everyday lives. You don't want a boss finding something crazy you posted online, so get rid of it. Or don't post it. You don't want potential clients to not want to work with you because of the long trail of malicious and horrible things that you've said or you've worn or you've taunted online. Learn from the examples of those who have fallen before you and don't fall. My dad always says, why go through what you go through if you don't have to go through it? People have made the mistakes before you, so you don't have to make them. A wise man does not learn from the mistakes that he makes, but from those that other people have made, because he doesn't make the same ones. I'm not telling you that you have to be some sort of goody two-shoes or overanalyze or over-obsess about everything you've ever posted or everything you ever will post again. But be smart. Weigh those pros and cons. Make the rational choice for the outcome that you're looking for. If you want to repel people, if you never want to have your name spoken positively in rooms that you have yet to be in but would like to enter in one day, if you don't want friends, if you want to divide your audience, if you want to isolate yourself from the world around you, then by all means, don't apply rational choice theory. Make the choice that feels best in the moment. Don't consider your future. But if you want a strong future, a future where you're not experiencing the negative effects of being the guinea pigs that we all are to this world of social media, be smart. Use the common sense that we are gathering and learning from every day. Spread this common sense to those around you who you love so that they may take the conversations even further. We're all in this together, so let's help each other win. I believe I'm talking to some future celebrities right now. Clean up your act so you're not swept away one day. We need you. We need strong, positive forces who make rational decisions, who don't live their life selfishly, who don't want to divide us even further than we already are. Be rational. Weigh your pros and cons. Think about how you affect others. Have an image you can be proud of and that other people can be proud to support. I know you'll do it. Thank you all so much for making the rational choice and sitting down with me for episode 3 of Media EQ, the show where I talk about things I find interesting, and lucky for you, I'm cool enough to record it. I'll see you all in my next episode. Bye, guys!